Bismillah ar-Rahman. Inshallah, this evening we will be doing the 21st juz of the Holy Quran, and we are still carrying on with Surah Al-Kabut, the Surah of the Spider. And we mentioned why it is known as the Surah of the Spider, because the people who take other gods other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they think that they are high and mighty, but in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's like the house of the spiders. Like you just take your hands and you break it. So there's nothing to it. The 21st juz starts off with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, recite thou what has been sent down unto thee of the book. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and establish the prayer. Aqimis salah. And establish the prayer. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the prayer bars one or stops one from indecency and bad things. Two things. Time and time again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions salah, salah, salah. The difference between a mu'min and a non-mu'min is like the person who performs salah. The first thing to be reckoned for on the day of Qiyamah will be our salah. If it is good, all our actions will be good. If it is bad, all our actions will be bad. This is something that you and I, we take very, very lightly. Many of us, we do not perform salah. Allah Ta'ala make it that we perform our 5 times daily salah on its time. Kitaban mawquta, on its time. Many of us, alhamdulillah, we are reading our salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us steadfast. But here Allah Ta'ala says that salah is a thing that will stop you from many other evils as well. Bring salah into your life and it will stop you from many other evils. I'm just going to give 1 or 2 examples quickly. Say for example, I am in the habit of drinking. I am an alcoholic. I'm trying to stop drinking, but I cannot drink. I cannot stop drinking. I bring salah into my life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't come to salah when you are drunk. لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى. So what do? I am sober. I perform my Fajr salah. Thereafter, I do not drink because I want to read my Dhuhr. After Dhuhr, I want to drink, but I'm saying no. I'm going to be drunk for Asr, then I can't read Asr, so I stop drinking. So just because I brought salah into my life, I cut out alcohol as well. Maybe I am a person who dresses very lewdly. If I may use, for example, if we use a female, not to be sexist, but a female, maybe she dresses very lewdly. Not modestly, but very lewdly. So she brings salah into her life. She says that I'm going to perform my Fajr salah. She dresses neatly, modestly, and she performs her salah. After that, she dresses lewdly. She goes to work, comes to Dhuhr time. Thereafter, she takes off her makeup, takes off her nail polish. She has to make wudu. She puts on decent clothes or modest clothes. She reads her Dhuhr salah. After Dhuhr, she goes back to the changing room, dressing room. She puts her nail polish on, she puts her makeup on, she dresses lewdly, and she goes back to work. Just saying, as an example. Comes to Asr time, she goes back again, she takes off. Why? Because the wudu, the water has to touch the nails, the lips, all these places that water has to touch. Then she dresses modestly again. Thereafter, she changes back into her lewd clothes. How long do you think she will change her dress code every time? Or she will just say, you know what, let me go to work in a modest fashion that I am ready for salah. That is what we are supposed to be, whether you are male, whether you are female. Every given moment of your life, you must be ready for salah. Sometimes I work in a place that my clothes become impure. So my clothes or my body becomes impure. Then I have to change my clothes, or I have to make ghusl, or I have to bath, or I have to clean up. No. Always, a Muslim must always be ready. He must always be in a state that he is ready for salah. I don't have to go hunt for a scarf. I don't have to go hunt for clean clothes. I don't have to go hunt for clothes to cover my awrah, whether I'm male or whether I'm female, because I'm walking around lewdly, male or female. No. You must always be in a position that you are ready to perform salah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Verily, just to bring salah into your life, the dress code became right. My keeping clean and keeping pure became sorted out. Just bringing salah into my life, I tried to give up drinking wine. I tried to become sober just because I brought salah into my life. That's just 1-2 examples. There are so many other examples that we can give when we bring salah into our life. Further on in Surah Al-Kabut, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the next surah that we are going to read, it is the 30th surah of the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alif Lam Mim. Again, we do not know the translation of it. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the translation. Allah ta'ala says, Ghulibatir Rum. The Romans have vanquished in their adjoining near country, and thereafter this their vanquished shall overcome. The Romans will become successful. What happened here? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Ghulibatir Rum, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the Romans become successful? This means, and Bid'a Sinin means in Greek times, Bid'a means to overcome. In the years, it means to overcome, and it means Bid'a means in a short period, in a period of approximately 9 years. We had 2 major empires at that time. You had the Roman Empire and you had the Persian Empire. The Roman Empire, they were Christians. They believed in Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Persians, they were Zoroastrians. They were people that were fire worshippers. So whenever the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire fought, now and then the news used to come to the people of Arabia. So it so happened that in 602 AD to 614, and even afterwards, these 2 empires, they fought. 40 years they were fighting for. Even prior to from 682, they were fighting more. 40 years they were fighting. So what happened was, the Quraysh, they were idol worshippers. They never used to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the Zoroastrians, they beat the Romans. They beat the Romans in battle, that the Romans had to go to Constantinople. This was in the year 614 AD. After 40 years of battle, Khosrow II, he gave a crushing and a decisive defeat to the Romans. to the extent that Hercules, he was compelled to take shelter in Constantinople, the capital at that time of the Roman Empire. Big popes were slain, priests were slain, a lot of Christians were taken as prisoners. And the Persians, they also took away the crosses from the churches. They destroyed churches, and they wanted almost to destroy Baytul Muqaddas in Jerusalem. So when this happened, the Quraysh started getting happy to say that the people that were worshipping your God, that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling you to worship, they lost in a battle against the people who are fire worshippers, who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are fire worshippers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Romans lose. So they started getting a kick out of it. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, today they came to him and they said that our Persian brethren have blotted out your Roman brethren. Tomorrow we will exterminate you as well. They came to Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala and they told Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down this surah, غُلِبَتِ الرُّومِ, Alif Lam Mim, غُلِبَتِ الرُّومِ. The Romans have been vanquished, right? But a time will come when the Romans, Bidr Sinin, within 9 years, the Romans will become victorious again. On this basis, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, he came back to the Quraysh again and he told the Quraysh that verily within 9 years, the Romans, they will win the Persians. And I will make you a bet on that, of 100 camels. That time bets were still allowed. In today's time, bets are not allowed. I will make you a bet of 100 camels that the Romans will beat the Persians. And it so happened when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave victory to the Muslims in Badr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave victory to the Muslims, to the Romans as well, over the Persian Empire. So that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Further on in Surah Rum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who has created you, and then He has made you dead, and then He has made you die, and then He shall revive you again. If there are anybody who associates partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can't you people understand? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will bring us to life again on the day of Qiyamah. And yet you people do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, as we mentioned yesterday, and of His signs, one of the signs is that He is the one who loosens the wings and bring glad tidings. But glad tidings, always the wind will come along, then after the wind comes along, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the rain. The next surah that we are going to read tonight in the 21st juz is Surah Luqman. Surah Luqman. Who was Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam? Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam, he was a very, very pious scholar. Many ulama, many mufassirin, they say he was not a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he was in the time of Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was from Habasha. He was from Abyssinia. A very, very, very pious man. So pious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam in the Quran. And he was very wise, Luqman the wise. So that was Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam. We always talk about the wisdom and the advice that Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam gave to his son. What we learn from this is that we as parents, we must always be so close to our children. They are our children, not our friends. A friend is different to a parent. You treat a friend differently and you treat a parent differently. But we must be so close to our children as if though they are our friends. If something wrong happens, many a time our children tend to run to their friends for help. The last person they will think of going to is going to their parents. Why? Because daddy will sort me out, mommy will sort me out. I'm just saying, if I did something wrong and I need help, think about it. And you have to pick up the phone for help. Will you call your friend or will you call your parent? If you call your parent, wallahi, you have got a very good relationship with your parent. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all good relationships with our parents. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all of our parents to have exceptional relationships with our children. It doesn't mean that if my child is not going to call me, I haven't got a good relationship with him. No. We can make our relationship a bit better. But if my child is scared to come to me, then I must ask the question, why is my child scared to come to me? Why is my child scared to ask me for advice? There is only so much I can do in the tarbiyah, in the bringing up of our children. As we mentioned in the story of Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. When Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam told his son, please get onto the ship with us, get onto the ark with us, and he didn't. He said, I will climb the highest mountain. And a wave came and took him away. He was a non-believer. He did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Was that an indictment on the tarbiyah of Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, that there was something lacking in his bringing up of his children? No. There is only so much we can do. We make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day. Oh Allah, keep our children on the straight path. Oh Allah, look after our children. Oh Allah, give our children good spouses. Spouses that will look after them and they look after their spouses as well. Every day you make a dua for your child. And I mentioned it as well. Don't ever let a bad dua come from your mouth for your child. Don't. No matter what your child does. Sometimes your child can irritate you so much, can trouble you so much, can work on your nerves so much, can be so naughty. And then some words might just come out of your mouth and the angels say Ameen to that, because there is no curtain between a person who is oppressed, that person's dua and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a mother's dua and a father's dua and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a child. No curtain. I gave the example that whenever you come home, your child is sleeping. When he is sleeping, not studying, not this, not that, and you just come and you're sleeping again. One day you're going to work hard for your money. And then when the child doesn't come home one day, he says, where are you, my boy? Where are you, my girl? Why are you working so hard? Don't they give you up? He says, Mom, you're going to work hard for your money. And we take it as a joke. Don't take it as a joke. Always let good words come out of our mouth for our children. Let always good words come out of our mouths for our parents. Good du'as. Not only for the children and parents, for anybody for that matter. Don't ever make a bad dua for anybody. Let always good du'as, good words come out for other people as well. So the advice that Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam gave, And we gave Luqman wisdom. Give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever gives thanks for his own good. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَشْكُرُ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ. Whenever you are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala doesn't need our thanks. When you thank Allah, you are thanking your own self. You are doing your own self good by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you make salam to others, it's like you are making salam فَسَلِّمُوا, like you are making salam to your own self. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam admonishes his child. He says, and when Luqman said to his son, admonishing him, "O my son, do not associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't ascribe partners with Allah. Don't ever commit shirk." Luqman says further, and we have inculcated upon man concerning his parents. He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we have inculcated upon man concerning his parents. His mother bore him with pain upon pain, weariness upon weariness, and in his weaning him for 2 years. Be thankful to me and be thankful to your parents. Be thankful to Allah and be thankful to your parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Another ayat, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ, and don't even say uff to your parents. And if they strive with thee to make thee associate with me that thing whereof thou hast no knowledge, then do not obey them. If they ask you to commit shirk, if they ask you to do something wrong, then don't obey them, don't listen to them. If they ask you to do something wrong. But what Allah Ta'ala says after that, but support them in the world according to your custom. Look after them still. Don't be rude to them. If they ask you to do something wrong, you disobey them, yes, but don't be rude to them. Don't shout them, don't fight with them. Still be humble with them. Even if your parents are non-Muslim. وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ, don't ever say uff to your mother and to your father. If they ask you to do something wrong, if they ask you to eat something haram, if they ask you to drink something haram, very politely, humbly say, "Mommy, Daddy, my religion does not allow it." Simple. But don't ever be rude to your mother and your father. Even if they are non-Muslim, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. "Oh my son," Allah Ta'ala says further, Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam gives advice. If it should be equal to a mustard seed, and it is placed on the rock in the heavens and the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring it forth. Allah Ta'ala knows where everything is. "Oh my son, perform salah. Perform salah and teach good things and prohibit people from doing evil." Prohibit people from doing evil. Always invite towards good and stop people from doing evil. Many a time we as parents, our children are sleeping Fajr time. It's okay, let them sleep. Shame, it's cold outside. No. Wake them up for Fajr. Be cool to be kind. Our children, when they leave the house, how do they leave the house? How are they dressed? How are our sons dressed when they leave the house? How are our daughters dressed when they leave the house? Always ask this question. If you see something wrong, stop it with the hand. If you cannot stop it with the hand, stop it with the mouth. If you cannot stop it with the mouth, think bad of it in the heart. So Luqman says to his son, always invite people to do good and stop them from doing evil. And bear with patience whatever befalls you. If trouble comes to you, bear it with patience. We are in lockdown. We have got no paycheck coming. We have got no money coming. It's easy for me to say, but bear it with patience. Inna Allah ma'as-sabirin. Allah Ta'ala give us all our daily bread. Allah give us a rizq that is wasi', that is broad. Put barakah in our wealth. Put barakah in our sustenance. And Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam says, and do not puff up your cheeks with people. Don't puff up your cheek when somebody talks to you, admonishes you, or gives you advice, or reprimands you. Now you get upset with them and you puff up your cheek. Don't do that. And don't walk upon this earth with pride. Don't walk upon this earth with pride, as Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam says. No doubt Allah Ta'ala loves not the one who is proud and boasting. And the last advice Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam says, he says, be moderate in your walk. Be moderate in your walk. And lower your voice. Don't shout. You shout the husband. You shout your children. You shout everybody. Whenever you speak, you are just shouting, shouting, shouting. Nagging, nagging, nagging. The husband is nagging the wife. The wife is nagging the husband. The parents are nagging the children. The children are nagging the parents. We are shouting and screaming. So Allah Ta'ala says, and be moderate in your walk and lower your voice. For verily, the most hideous of sounds of voices is the neighing of a donkey. Is the braying of a donkey. Here we live in Botswana. There are a lot of donkeys roaming around. You ever heard the neighing of a donkey? It is a very irritating sound. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw. It's a neighing sound. It's a piercing sound. It's an irritating sound. So when the husband is shouting the wife, when the wife is shouting the husband, and we are getting nothing accomplished, it is like the sound of a donkey neighing and braying, hee-haw, hee-haw. Very, very irritating. Always one step back and then listen when everything is cooled down, and then we start talking nicely to one another, amicably to one another. That is why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man samata najah." The one who keeps quiet is successful. You are arguing and you are arguing and you know you are not going to get anything done. Qalu salama. Say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and walk away from the situation. Walk away. Walk away. Otherwise it's going to sound like the neighing in the brain of a donkey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding. Inshallah. Shukran. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagh. Inshallah tomorrow we will carry on with the Surah Luqman and with the 22nd juz of the Holy Quran. Let's make dua. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa ashabihi wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma rabbana zalamna anfusana wa in lam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم سبحان الله رب العرش العظيم والحمد لله رب العالمين نسألك موجبات رحمتك وأزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا ضرا إلا كشفته ولا حاجة في الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها ويسرتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Brothers and sisters, here in Botswana, we've got approximately 8 minutes left before we break our fast. The dua for breaking the fast: Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftartu. Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftartu. Jazakallah.